Look at that, you're live.
And we are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. I never know. Did people hear you say that, or do you
they
say
absolutely
that?
do.
That's great. That's great. I'm glad. Because I'm never watching at that point in time. We are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, which is a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard, and skincare alchemy in the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire here at Plus One is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games, and amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways, but the most fun is sitting down with those designers and some players to play those games. Today we are doing that as part of a two-shot here on what we're calling Worm Weekend. Every weekend, every Labor Day weekend from here until the end of time, the same group of people are going to get together and play an ongoing campaign of His Majesty the Worm. I just committed to that. All of us to that live right now on stream. Really excited about this new annual tradition we've created. Now it's a two-shot of His Majesty the Worm by Josh. Josh, for folks who didn't join us yesterday, which we got so much accomplished, no one will ever catch up on the narrative if they're not already. We went through no less than 3 rooms yesterday. 4, did we make it to a 4th room? I love the hope that Josh had by sending no less than 50 rooms over on a map and us being like, we've got through.
The great thing about like having a mega dungeon is if your players move at the pace that mine does, lasts forever. You can really get a lot of content out of that.
Yeah.
I don't even an old dungeon.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about His Majesty the Worm?
Yeah, His Majesty the Worm is a new school game with old school sensibilities. It is focused on mega dungeon crawling, and it puts you in the delver's seat, trying to like get you into the head of what it feels like and what the experiences are like going through these like mythic underworld structures, with like a focus on tracking inventory and your relationships with your other adventures.
Keegan, thank you for correcting me. We were 33% more productive than I thought. We did 4 rooms.
Yeah, we did 4 rooms.
And so also Adam, good to see you in the chat. Adam, who I asked if they wanted to play, but apparently they're too busy playing games with other people all weekend long.
Not too busy to be in the chat though.
I think Sunday was the day they could make part of it. And so really glad to have you with us, as well as everyone who joined yesterday and is joining today. Let's whip around real quick and just have everybody introduce themselves and remind us who your character is and a little bit about them. Then we'll hand things over to Josh since we've already covered lines and veils. Keegan, you want to go first?
Yeah,
no one can remember your character's name anyways.
Yeah, I had to. I was rapidly pulling up my 50 tabs to find my character. My name's Keegan. I'm playing Shalsor.
Chris?
Chris, I'm playing Dovold.
Yeah. Izzy?
I'm Izzy. I'm playing Bismuth.
And I'm Tony, and I'm playing Champion Toma. And so, who also, judging by the character sheet, Josh just took a piece of racy art of my actual physical body and put it on a character sheet. It's pretty spot on. So cool. We are in the dungeon. I think we're looking for a special sword for Bismuth's quest. Josh, anything else you want us to catch up on or recap before I hand things over to you?
I think that's probably sufficient. We can jump in.
Cool.
All right. So as I recall, we wanted to start today on a camp phase. So the game has 4 phases: crawl, challenge, which we've seen those 2, camp and city. So camp and city are both downtime phases, where camp is your rests inside the dungeon, and city is when you haul back your loot and refill your pack. After a battle and having spent some of your resources, it's probably a good idea to do a camp. So let's run through that. So I'm going to pull up my book and remind myself of the procedures there. Camp. All right, so the first step of the camp phase is camp actions. I think these are on your character sheets as well. So there's a couple different camp actions, things like fellowship, patrol, read a book, scout ahead. Let's start with the players who are more familiar with the game. Izzy, do you want to say your camp actions, and we'll go to Chris, and then we'll swing around.
Yeah, I think Bismuth wants to look around the tower a little more thoroughly. I think she's going to try to scout down one room past where we have made it so far.
Cool.
So that would be
yeah, that's a test of pentacles. So if you pull up your playingcards.io room and flip over a card.
all right. Let's see what we got here. That is an ace. That could be better. My pentacles is 2, so I've got a total of 3 out of 14 needed to succeed. I have the option to push fate here, which means if I succeed, I succeed, but if I fail, the consequences are much worse. I think let's leave it here. I think let's not push fate, considering that I would have to have a page or better to succeed.
Cool. Yeah, you take a couple like bold steps out of the room and kind of reconsider.
You hear that ghoul moaning at the bottom of the steps.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're driven back away from them.
That's exactly. I don't think I'm going to go down there alone.
Tovold, what are you getting up to during your camp?
I'm seeing Bismuth return back through the door. I nod and say, "Wise, you don't want to go alone." And then set up a patrol of the door.
Cool. Okay, so patrol will help you minimize your chances of getting a hostile encounter at night. Shalsor or Champion Toma, do you have any idea what you guys would like to do for your camp actions?
I'm going to ask 2 questions. One is if I want to use a bond to get my staggered thing off, is that rest and recover? Is that the camp action I would use to do that, or is that a
good question? So you'll use your bonds to recover as just one of the steps. You don't have to use an action. Rest and recover is mostly about getting rid of afflictions and long-term conditions.
Gotcha. And then I have infiltrate, which doesn't as a special extra action that I can do because of my past. That doesn't feel like there's a thing to infiltrate right now. How would that normally work if I wanted to do it though?
Yeah, like if you infiltrate, the idea is that let's say you knew of a place that you're trying to case. Maybe it's a dragon's museum that you're trying to rob, or if there's a keep full of like evil clones. You're like, all right, so we need to like get some reconnaissance about that. And instead of having everybody sit still and watch while I play with the thief and do a stealth mission, infiltrate gets that down to a single camp action. Cool. You slip away at night and come back with some information, and it lets us kind of like speed that whole thing up instead of spending an hour and a half like me and the hacker just like smiling at each other while everybody else.
I'm gonna infiltrate the room with the perfect sword in it. No, I'm just kidding. That's great. Then I think scout is what I am going to do.
Okay. So also we're gonna test pentacles there.
Let me figure out which tab. And I'm just gonna flip this over, right?
Mm-hmm. Another ace.
Are you sure you shuffled these?
Programmatically.
Cool. And so what are my options here?
Okay, so in a test of fate, you are trying to get a 14 or better.
Right.
So add your pentacle score and see what you have. 5. So you can draw again and add that to your total. Right now, if you stop, there's no consequences. But if you draw again and don't succeed, you will have some sort of setback or sort of critical failure.
Cool. And on the second draw, I've already added my. I'm glad Chris is in classic play mode. Because I've already added my pinnacles, I would not add my pinnacles again.
Correct. Yeah, it's just the value of the card.
So I'd have to get a 10 or higher. Wait, no, I'd have to get it's meet or exceed or exceed.
Meet or exceed.
So I'd have to get a 9 or higher.
Yep.
On the draw. Otherwise, things are going to be worse. I'm going to do it.
Sure.
It's another ace. I can feel it.
Just flip it over.
Win it.
Yep. All right. choosing to like show your bravery to Bismuth, you go to the bottom of the steps, seeking to go into the next room. She wasn't lying about that ghoul. You can't tangle with it and manage to put it down, but you limp back with a wound. Take another wound and put it somewhere on your character sheet. Again, you can put it into one of your conditions, onto your armor, or onto a mastered talent.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and when I expend a bond, I'm only expending enough bond to remove one thing. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna have my helm destroyed, I think, right now.
Okay. Your beautiful Gorget. Shellsword, do you know what camp action you'd like to do?
Yeah, I think, especially seeing Toma take another hit here, I'll use a fellowship action with Toma.
Okay. Cool. So, let me see. Toma, you know, you're a wood elf, and I'm sorry, Toma, you're a human, and Shellsword, you're a wood elf. So as you like come back and you see Toma, you know, like his gorget, like rent apart by the inhumanly strong hands of the ghoul. You know, you realize that the two of you have like a lot of questions about each other's culture and even like physiology. What are you talking about as you like you're recovering from, you know, Champion Toma is recovering from his brief scrap. What are you wondering about each other and asking about each other?
So my notes on Champion Toma here are that he's the perfect representative of everything humanity has to offer. He's big, drunk, pugnacious, always hungry, unrestrained, stinky, and sometimes funny.
Sounds like I'm making you laugh. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that.
Yeah, so I'm like, I think when Toma comes back, I'm like, so are you sort of all like this?
Just the best of us. Yeah, I think I will you know, I'll regale you with a tale of like a time I like drunk somebody under the table after getting in a fist fight with them, and then yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I just tell you a long kind of meandering tale of a wild night out on the town.
Yeah, attention wrapped.
Do you have any stories of like the same way that elves do that, Shellsword?
Yeah, you know, I think so. I was a spy for the Court of the Maimed Moon, and I think there is some sort of story here that a time I did something similar, which is like I did something similar, but to the end of not to make friends, to get like information out of a person.
Very cool. So go ahead and charge the both of you charge your bonds with each other.
Yep.
Cool. Then we've all done a camp action, so we'll move on to step 2 of the camp phase, where we break bread. Everybody has some rations in their pack. Go ahead and mark one of those off, assuming you eat. If not, let me know. And just like real briefly, what kind of food have you packed? What did Ma pack you for lunch? You know, what's in your pack there?
I have, in my home of Alfheim, I have cultivated a meat garden. So I do think this is some sort of weird, like vegetable meat jerky.
Very cool.
My rations are listed as ration weird. So.
Anybody else have any ideas about what they have to eat for dinner tonight?
I literally was gonna say jerky, and now it just feels bad. I have I just every once in a while I will just stomp on a rat. And it's a little bit of it's some nicely smoked rat meat that I cooked the last time we camped.
Cool. All right, so now I am going to test to see who, if who wanders into your area at night. Because we've had a patrol, I'm gonna draw twice and take the better. Okay, so the night passes without incident. It is quite cold in this tower. As you entered, you would have noticed that it is. It's just meaningfully uncomfortably cold, if not 0 Celsius, at least close to it. And your breath is frosting. So now is the step for recovery. So everyone, if you have charged bonds, you can spend them to recover some of your lost assets. So staggered is going to come back automatically. But your lore bids will come back automatically. If you have,
never mind. Can I choose where I got injured? Can I take injured instead of losing my helm? If I would have known that, I thought I needed both of those to recharge.
Sure. Okay. If you've spent resolve, you'll need to erase 1 bond to refill 1 resolve. And if you have any injuries or conditions on your wounds that aren't staggered, you'll need to erase a bond and erase 1 of those as well.
Cool.
And at
2 bond and 2 resolve. That worked perfectly.
Awesome. So at the end of camp phase, I'm just gonna. It's just a check. So you need 2 of one. You need 2 of the following: a bedroll, a tent, or a fire. How are you guys sleeping?
Bismuth has firewood, so she'll prepare a fire in the. I guess sorry, what room are we in currently?
Yeah, I should have reset us to ground us in the space. Again, you are in a planetarium. There's a dome ceiling decorated with pinpricks of light above you. Depicting a realistic night sky. Where it's winter.
Or December.
Yeah, correct. Okay. In the center, there's a wheel on a steering column, like a ship's steering wheel, and surrounding the edge of the room, there's 12 statues of men and animals.
You probably said it. I don't think any of us clocked the steering wheel last.
No, I don't.
Based on our questions,
we got really invested in the statues really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll build a fire between 2 of the statues, and Bismuth has a bedroll as well, so she's probably fully cocooned, leaning up against one of the statues, bedroll up.
Everybody else has a bedroll as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So since you've go ahead and mark off your firewood, and because you're resting through the night, the torch that you had lit earlier is also going to go out. So as we end camp phase, somebody will need to relight some sort of light source.
I also spend the night before we go to bed dousing the lightning bolt in pepper whiskey.
Oh yeah. Okay, great. So when it is low, it essentially it looks like a jagged stone snake. And it snores just a little bit.
Well, Torvald will snore a lot of it.
Very cool. All right, who's as you break camp in the morning, your lightning bolt comes back. Just too early. You never get a full night's sleep with the thing just constantly needing your attention. It crackles back to life. Everybody else is rolling up their bedrolls, scattering the ashes of the fire. You need to light a light source off the embers of the fire to be able to see.
I got a candle.
Okay. Toma lights their candle, and in the flickering light, you see this planetarium room that you're in. And I another thing that I might have missed yesterday, and this is on me. The statues that, as you've been camping next to them, you've noticed that each statue at its base has a niche in the base that is missing. There's something that seems like it could fit in each statue.
Are they the same shape or different shapes?
They are the same shape.
Cool. Wait, I'm going to turn the wheel.
The wheel does not turn.
A lot of
Yeah.
wheels that don't turn in this place.
Mhm.
I'm noticing a pattern with the wheels.
And
Toma,
what is
did
that
you-
pattern?
They don't turn.
Oh, okay.
Toma, did you want to try to pick those locks?
Sure. Yeah, I guess we're going to go back up 2 levels, right? To the 100.
All right. Let me look here. All right. So you're in 103 right now, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, so I guess 3 levels.
So
It's up
going
2
up.
levels.
Oh,
102,
is it
1.
2 levels? Oh, because 101's above, that's right.
Oh, right.
All right, going up 1 level, your candle flickers. Candles have 2 flickers, by the way, Tony. So your candle is half out.
Okay.
And then going, yeah, you pat like you're going up the stairs and you look in, and there's like the glowing eye of the angel studying the portraits. You go up to the atrium, and let's see what's there. I should have asked this yesterday, but as you're walking now, like going up the stairs, what's your marching order? What's your cruise's marching order?
I think Bismuth keeps on trying to be in the front, and Champion Toma keeps on finding good reasons to position Bismuth behind me.
I think
Okay, so-
that feels authentic to me.
So Toma's first, Bismuth second. Who's third and fourth?
I'm probably third because I feel like I'm probably less useful with a weapon than the rest of the crew.
And I'm just lingering behind as my knees ache and keep going up these damn stairs.
Right, but what's your character?
All right, you are coming back in, Tillman. By the flickering light of your candle, you see the atrium that you had previously like come into. There are 5 mirrors here, 1 black, through which you can return to the city, and 4 other mirrors that you haven't investigated yet. In the center of the room, there's a statue of a giant, the Emperor of the World, 1 foot placed on a globe. You had previously seen that the globe has a keyhole. There's a broken statue at its feet. As you come into the room, doves scatter back up into the rafters, cooing. And as you are all like come into the room, the last person through, Tovold, has an unwelcome surprise.
Yeah.
A gelatinous blood red blob drips from the ceiling and falls onto Tovold's shoulders. Tovold, can you make a test of Pentacles with disfavor to avoid it and like scrape it off before it does anything?
Sure. Come on. There we go. Well, disfavor, that is a 0. I'm not going to push that.
All right. As you know, you're looking around the room with your candlelight, you hear this splorch behind you, and you turn around, and there's a bright, no, bright's not the right word, a dark blood red, like dried blood, like a scab, like blob that's like covering Tovold's shoulders and mouth and face, and Tovold, actually, because you have the lightning bolt, I'm gonna ask you to make a cups check, and you can make this check with favor, but just to like see if you like can
Hold on to it.
on to the thing in this like moment of surprise.
Was that 9?
Yeah.
That is 9.
13. 16.
All right. You hold on. You're so trained and so like overcautious about like making sure that you don't drop this weapon of destruction. You hold on to it. But the blood pudding is filling your mouth, like it is infiltrating your nose. It is a terrible feeling, suffocating. Go ahead and take a wound, and I'm going to ask everybody else. How are you like? What do you? How do you react as like you see your friend's head encased in this like jelly?
I have a pitch here. I have the talent Witch Hunter, which gives me favor on lore bids and actions against magical creations.
Uh-huh.
Can I use that to make a lore bid about this?
Yeah, I think so. What's your question?
How do you repel one of these?
Yeah, okay, great question. This is you recognize because as a witch hunter, you recognize like any creation of if a wizard did it, you know about it, you know. And unfortunately, jellies and puddings, gelatinous cubes, etc. are all, you know, that's wizard business. This is a blood pudding, and it has all the weaknesses of a movie vampire.
Okay.
So let's get that sunlight open upstairs, and we can.
Chelsea, I see you had a question.
Oh no, I just heard weaknesses of a vampire, and I was like, I have garlic.
Hit it.
Oh yeah. Bismuth yells, garlic, steaks, crucifixes, silver, anything.
I got a pitch also too.
So about flails.
I want to punch Tovold in a way that makes them throw up.
Oh, you're fired. You're so fired.
I see this thing trying to suffocate him, trying to get. I just want to create a little bit of release within Tovold to give us some stretch or some space on that blood pudding.
Okay. Trying to punch him so that he throws up. I think this is going to be a test of cups. Even if it's not a great failure, if it is a normal failure, you're going to give them a wound. Are you okay with
can I
that?
make a pitch for it being pinnacles, mainly because this feels like it's in the rough housing? Like, I'm not looking to inflict damage here. I'm looking to disable, disorient my opponent. I'm also fine, whatever, because I'm just going to flip over a card. It doesn't really matter. But I'm trying to put it in my wheelhouse.
I understand that. I think this is still cups because I think that
I'd like to appeal to the game's designer. Oh wait,
the Heimlich. I mean, actually, what I usually do, and you know, somebody back me up on this, but I often just put it to the table. I still think it's cups. I'm gonna make my pitch, and then we're gonna vote on it. But like I think like this is, if I'm trying to make somebody throw up, that's kind of like inside, like internal organs, like the Heimlich maneuver. And I know the Heimlich maneuver is not very fancy, but maybe like in a medieval context, it's like it is. I don't know what the people that aren't me and Tony quickly vote between pentacles and cups. What do you guys think?
Boy, I could see it both ways. One, it's a medical treatment. On the other hand, he's trying to displace the slime off Tovald. It kind of depends whether we're talking about the approach or the intended effect. I am not helping.
Make a quick assessment. Okay, everyone in favor of cups, thumbs up.
Chat, you get a vote also too, but we'll have already.
I can't see
decided by the
chat.
time you vote.
All right, I got two pentacles. All right, okay.
Oh, come on!
Ah.
Yeah.
Boo.
I literally
I
just
like
flipped
how
the coin
Chris
on that
wasn't
one.
voting for it because he was like, I'm about to get punched. I want him to have his best stat.
Yes.
All right, Tony, let's do a test of cups.
It's the fool.
That's a 0.
That feels correct.
Are you gonna push?
It's the worst result if I push, right?
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, like you're really gonna hurt the guy.
The fool does nothing in this circumstance, right?
No, it's just a 0. Yeah.
It's just a 0.
It does trigger a shuffle after this test.
Okay.
In case we've been card counting here.
I mean, I think since we went with cups, I have no idea what I'm doing then, and so I think we're gonna go ahead. And
Push it. Push no.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's
Right.
Queen
It's
of
a
Wands?
13.
Yeah,
yeah, that does it.
Yeah, I think that does it.
I just need to. Yeah, I would say that
You
means
just need
with
14.
anything, yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Okay, great.
Incredible.
So, yeah, like he you like get him in the solar plexus, and he like coughs, and the thing like stretches off his face and like dangles from it, and he's hacking and coughing, but at least there's like a little like suck of breath in to give them a little space. Bismuth and Shalsor, how are you reacting?
So
can we work together with your garlic?
yeah,
Can
absolutely.
I help you with that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig through my pack for it, I believe.
All right. Yeah, you open your pack and you're digging through it, and you find it. What do you do?
I will hand it to Bismuth.
All right, Bismuth, what do you do?
Oh, I've got my longsword out. I skewer it on the tip of my longsword and try to stab it into the jelly.
Your longsword is silver too, right?
It is silver, yeah.
Man, the blood pudding just hates this, and like as he was like coughing, it's like wrapping back around, like sending these little like jelly tendrils up to like wrap and like get behind his face, and you touch it with the silver garlic, and it just burns, it like the sizzles, and it like drops to the ground and like tries to like squirm away and escape, but the touch of the silver and the garlic combined like has destroyed the membrane, and its blood is running out and like pools across the floor. You can breathe again, Tovold.
I spend the next few moments coughing and hacking and mourning my half-dissolved beard.
Yeah.
Pour one out for the half-dissolved beard.
Shalsor, I'm glad that you had that garlic. Was that meat garlic?
That was meat garlic. Yeah.
It really worked.
Unfortunately, the garlic is destroyed by like touching the corrosive spot.
You know what? I wasn't gonna eat it after it did that. Anyway.
No one wants to eat right now.
Yeah.
Fair. All right, so Tovold is recatching their breath. Your candle is illuminating the space. The membrane on the jelly has dissolved. How would you like to approach the room?
Before I try to pick the locks, I do need to replenish my rations, and I want to check something else. I'm going to climb up one of these columns and get into one of these bird nests.
Sure.
Ooh.
At the top of the column, there's like a broody dove who like isn't moving, but you see in the light of your candle like a glimmer in their nest.
Yeah, I'm going to reach for that glimmer.
You pull out a key.
God damn it.
No.
Incredible.
This was actually one of my first thoughts when we came to the room, and I'm like, who knows? Am I high enough up to see into? Am I able to peer into the other like nest from here? Or would I need to climb the columns?
I mean, I don't think
Maybe you want to just tell me I check all the columns and don't find another cool key up here.
Yeah, I think you can probably spend like a beat to do it. I am gonna pull on the meat grinder to see. Okay, your candle is gonna burn as you're like checking the second column. Your candle is burning so low you'll want to relight it from something.
Yeah, that's fine.
You have another candle?
Yeah, I'll take it and I'll stick it on the edge of my retcon still there helmet while I'm climbing.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll light another one.
Cool. As you light the other candle, you check the rest of them. You do find some eggs. But besides that, no other special. Nothing.
Eggs is what I narratively said I came up here for, so I'll take those also too.
All right. Have one slot of like 3 dove eggs.
What does the key look like?
It does. I mean, it has no special markings. For example, it doesn't have a crawfish on it. It has like a ring on the end and is a skeleton type key. It is bronze.
Yeah, excellent. Before I try to pick the locks, I'm going to try the key on that globe.
It fits. As you slide it into the globe, on the statue, the key like slides in and like fits, and like it does take like a little bit of elbow grease to turn it, but you can tell that the mechanisms are old, but like the teeth are fitting together. And with a few moments of work, it clicks, and the globe articulates like a little bit open, and you can like lift it like a chest.
I lift it like a chest.
Looking inside, there is a long brass horn. There is Vetus text along the side of the horn.
A horn. We were looking for that.
We were looking for that.
Champion Toma just picks it up and blows on it a little bit.
Go ahead and mark near death as you blow it.
You mean Death's Door? Or is that a
Death's Door? Yeah, that's right. As you blow it, fire shoots from both sides, and your unclean like lips touching it like burns your face and scars your beard. You fall backwards, quite injured.
Oh my God. This was such a Tony move.
We don't get to test anything. It just
rushes over.
Yeah, you have activated its. You are unclean and have been purged by holy fire.
Wow. Way to make intense character judgments about Champion Toma.
I think that's true for all have sinned, Tony.
Bismuth is rushing over, pulling a poultice from her pack. And I guess just cramming it right over his mouth.
I mean, like you minister, and over the next several moments, like you like make sure that he's not like in danger of actually expiring from like a face burn.
Yeah.
Keegan, if you still have the "Why is it spicy" button programmed on the thing, can you just hit that for those listening at home?
Why is it spicy?
Wow, that's really appropriate.
Wonderful.
Josh, is using a poultice a test, or does that just work?
I am going to say in like this sort of circumstance that's kind of like low stakes. You're not. It is a test in combat, or if you've been wounded in combat. I think in this circumstance where it was you have a little bit more time. I'm going to say you just kind of stop them from that.
Okay. That does not remove the near death, or
It does not move the near death, but it doesn't. He is not dying.
He's stable. Okay. Oh, Toba, Bismuth's like slamming fists down on his chest, like, talk to me, get up.
I think this is the angel's horn.
I think it probably is. I think we'd better take another rest just so that you can.
I fish
fine.
a jar of leeches out. Do we think this will help?
Where are you gonna put them?
I take a leech out and I just chomp into it. I'll be fine. This is great. I'll be fine.
Oh my God.
I'm still gonna have to pay you. Yeah.
Yes, you do have to pay him.
Not if he dies.
Not if he dies.
Bismuth's looking back and forth between Tovald and Shalsor, like,
This is
wait
the
a
one
minute.
time they've agreed on something.
Yeah.
Well, should we Toma, are you sure you don't want to rest?
He's standing up, like he's
Just like face still smoldering.
though I'm on death's door, there is no other mechanical whatever to my ability other than
I will highlight that the next one you take will be death on death's door.
that's fine.
That's
I'm
rough.
fine. I'm fine.
Well, the poultice cured Death's Door.
It hasn't cured it. It's just stopped him.
It just stopped me from getting worse, right? It took care of the narrative realities of having been blasted by angel fire for trying to blow on the horn.
And that's really what I'm here to do.
Yeah, that's great.
Just that specific.
That's great.
All right.
I've got a helm. I've got at least one. We'll be fine.
Let's take the horn back down to the angel then, and maybe they can
Help here.
help you.
Maybe they can unblast you with holy fire.
The angel is just one room below us, right?
I believe so.
Shall we move down?
The smell of garlic and barbecue fills the room as we exit.
Probably not terrible.
And
Um,
vomit.
Except for all the burning beards. Adam has pointed out that there's been a lot of violence against beards in this game.
Yeah, I feel like Josh is really just trying to get in me as a. This is more like, you know, there's attacking the character sheet. This is attacking the player. Like,
all right. You descend, Toma, holding your like wavering fresh candle. And you come into a hall of portraits of men, women, and children of all kiths and kin. A human-sized angelic figure whose head is like a glowing double-thumbed hand with an like a blue eye in the center of the palm, turns to regard you. Seeing your burns, you know, they say in Tilwith, so only Shelsor can understand.
Yep.
Alas, I hope that you do not go on to become new victims of the castle automatic. This place is quite dangerous.
You know, the danger this time was less the castle and more, hey, look, we found your horn.
The eye like looks concerned, and they say, "Did you not read the runes upon it?"
I'm afraid before we could read the runes upon it, he had already laid his mouth upon it.
Alas, it is not to be blown by mortal lips. It is a thing of the heavens and should only be held or used by those of the heavens. And they hold out their hands as if to receive it.
if Toma could have understood that, he would have been like, "This is a warning you should give in advance next time." But he couldn't, so he didn't. I just handed over.
He receives it gratefully, and then like inclines at the waist, and says in Vulgaris, like very, this is one of the words that people know when they learn new languages. They're like, "Thank you." And then switching back to Tilwith, the angel says, "If you wish, I will now wend it and open the mirror portals to allow you to continue your quest through those gates."
Yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Putting it to his big head, like its big hand head. You don't quite understand
There's
the
not a
mechanisms.
mouth here. Wait a second.
There's not.
I like to think the two thumbs come in and grab the horn.
That's pretty cool, Tony. That is what happens. Yeah.
It holds it to its
dope.
eye.
And like a sharp, clean, clear, but like extremely resonant note comes through, and like the whole tower and like maybe like the flickering light of your soul inside you like trembles for a moment, and then it goes it fades away.
And that heals Death Door, right? Like that's no, okay.
Actually, you die. Fuck you.
Go with grace. Be warned, this tower is not the least dangerous place of the underworld. You will, as you journey, beware.
Does he know which mirror to go through?
Oh yeah, which is the swords mirror?
This will be your journey. If you take my advice, go through the way you came and leave this place. If you will not, I shall not counsel you. Beyond which to say, beware.
Well, that wasn't very helpful. Thank you anyway.
I'm thinking of your life. It is precious. And he raises a hand in salute of the brave warriors.
They just shake their head goodbye at us. Okay. So our friend here won't tell us which mirror to go through. Anyone feeling drawn towards one?
We can just each stick our head through one and see what happens.
Okay. Are you returning up to 100?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, everyone can see, and I can pull them out, but just in my discard pile, please understand the cards that I'm drawing for your the random events are really hitting your light sources.
Yeah.
Tony, your new candle flickers once as you come back into the atrium. You see the doves fluttering around, the broken statue on the ground, and the emperor like half cocked, or like it articulates it like its leg now raised to like allow the chest of the world half up. There's one black mirror through which you have entered this world, and 4 others. I assume you're going to like go look at one of the mirrors.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you stand in front of the mirrors, you see yourself reflected in a somewhat different scene than the one you're actually in. And standing in front of them, you see one kind of reflects you in a crypt with a sepulcher. One reflects you in front of a courtyard with a fountain. One shows you in a courtyard full of greenery with 4 plinths. And one shows you in front of a closed gate with a hand holding a sword.
I feel like the sword.
The sword.
Probably the sword.
You guys think the sword one? Let's try that one. Let's step through it. Bismuth is going to insist on going first. She's gonna physically take Champion Toma by the shoulders and move herself around him, since he is in such rough shape. Unless he resists.
I feel like that when you say you do that, I feel that's more like you put your hands on my shoulders and then walk around me rather than
Yes.
than moving me.
Yeah, she's acting like she's moving him, but in fact, she's just moving relative.
I think he also just gets confused because of the state that he's in, and he like spins around like looking for you. This is a classic like tap on the shoulder, even though it wasn't your intent.
That's good.
I think
While this is
Like-
happening, I jump behind Bismuth and go through the mirror first.
All for it. I'll follow Shalsor through.
All right. Okay. You come into a underground room, like barely worked, kind of natural cavern. It is let's see, if you're on your maps, we're going to go to where is it? The 200 block of rooms. We're going to go into room 200. Let me get to my side of the maps. Got it. All right. It's like a round room. Maybe not much larger than the rooms that you might be currently occupied, like an office or a bedroom. There is a gate here. Like kind of like 2 obvious exits. The portal that you just came through, which is another like mirror, and then a closed gate of stone, and on it there's a hand holding a sword. There's a thin slot in the middle of the gate, the wrong shape for a key. It's much too, or unless the key is huge, a large keyhole,
unless the key is like the size of a sword,
perhaps. And there's Vetus text around the edge of the gate.
I've got a quick point of confusion here. I'm seeing 2 different maps with 200 on them.
Yeah, my bad.
Look, sometimes maps aren't accurate when you get them in character. Like you got to trust that one of those is the map we're on.
Yeah, fair enough.
It is. I don't know how best to communicate this to you.
Also, we didn't ask where the mirrors were positioned in the room, so it could be that this is the wrong mirror that we went through, and it was a reflection of the mirror that was behind us, and we didn't investigate that.
Is it the one where 200 sort of floating off on the bottom by its own, or is it the one where
It's this one. I
actually-
sent it to our Discord chat, and you can see that map. That's the one you've entered.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
That's the one
Right.
open.
Okay.
So we're in the round 200 room, and in front of us is the gate.
A gate, yeah. So how do you proceed?
We see a hand holding a sword, a desk, and a gate with a slot in it, right?
And text in Vetus, in like Vetus runes around the side of the gate.
Does
I-
someone speak? Oh, you speak Vetus, right?
Let's have a read on that.
It says, maker of history, ender of elf, violence is a means unto itself.
I convey that. I imagine that is a riddle to which the answer is sword.
I pick up the sword. I try to take the sword from the hand.
Oh, sorry. It is not a sword. It is not a sword. It is like a picture of a huge hand with a huge sword. It's like a mosaic. Sorry for the.
He tries to reach into the picture, Mario.
I
Party
do.
style.
I just hope it works.
I have.
They
a
also told
sword.
me about manifesting. I'm gonna try it.
Is that our only sword? The silver one.
It's my only sword.
I've got a dagger.
No one else got a sword.
No, but
No.
I could theoretically make a sword.
How?
So I have wood weave. I could turn wood into a different shape, if my understanding of this is right. And then I have a fishing rod, just theoretically made of wood.
We also have firewood.
We also have firewood.
I love this. I think this is a very good idea.
I think you should try it.
Yeah.
I do too.
Cool. Well, I would love to use wood weave to turn some firewood into a sword.
Do you have firewood or do you need firewood?
I will need firewood.
You can have my firewood to do this with.
I've got some more firewood too if we end up needing it.
Cool. You take the firewood and cast your spell. You have formed a wooden sword.
We put it in the slot.
It fits into the slot. You hear gears turning. The wooden sword shatters, but the gate opens. There is a short hallway. And then the hallway like terminates at the end, and there's another hallway that runs perpendicular to it. That is quite a bit longer. As you come down into it, you look to your east and your west, your left and your right, and you see 4 doors, 2 on the left wall, 2 on the right wall. In front of you, there is a frieze resting above an empty section of wall. On that frieze, there is a blindfolded woman holding 2 swords across her chest. And as you come into the room, a figure like steps into your candlelight. They have a scintillating and strange appearance. They're human-sized. They look like a knight wearing like glass armor made of stained glass, like hundreds of pieces of stained glass. And they sort of like look kind of cartoonish, and almost like an intrusion into the like your physical reality, because they seem so bright. It's like almost like somebody rotoscoped this night into your scene. And as they come in, it laughs in chivalric, and says to you, who does somebody here speak chivalric?
Yes.
All right. Toval, do you hear him say, many paths to danger, only one is safe. You cannot see what is in front of your face. Ha 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 ha, you fools.
As we were coming into the room, I was about to give Bismuth words of wisdom, but then I get distracted by the suddenly chivalric talking figure.
What's he saying?
And he says we cannot see what is directly in front of us. And what might that be? I call him chivalric.
That you are doomed, no matter which path you take. Ha ha ha.
Such is life. Turn to my companions in Vulgaris. Says we're doomed no matter what path we take.
Fighting every temptation I have to punch this guy and make him throw up.
It seems that everyone in here is convinced that we are doomed, except us. Ask him if he'll hinder us on our way.
Are you looking to stop us? I call it to the figure. In chivalric.
Looking around, he gestures broadly and says, choose the door of that speaks to you most clearly. I shall not stop you from opening it.
Toval groans. I'm old. I am tired. Speak plainly. What is the point of you?
I can't understand this, but I'm laughing very hard if I could.
Yeah, I'm laughing at Toval's
Pumpkin fist
tone.
getting all clenchy.
I got the lightning.
He seems like quite insulted by this.
Same.
What is the point of you eternally replicating, eating and defecating, breathing? Disgusting.
Yeah, no, you got it in one. I turned to the group. He's not going to help us.
So we should look at our paths forward then, I suppose. He invited us to pick the door that spoke to us.
That he did.
Are the door as we inspect the doors, do they all look the same?
Yeah, the doors look like so you're in a barely carven hallway. The doors are probably some sort of like simple hinges with like a metal frame just like slapped onto them, and they're like kind of like half filling these like gaps on both the left and the right of the long hallway. They all look essentially the same.
When you say half filling the gaps, what do you mean? Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so I mean, try to imagine if you've ever been in a cavern walkthrough, you can see some of the doors that they've just like installed in the natural space, and it doesn't fit like tightly in the door jamb, but like they cover the entire gap, you know.
Okay.
There's no labeling, no runes that say like don't toot on this or it'll blast you.
Not on the doors. There again there is
on all the doors.
No, there's just the freeze as you first came into the room of the blindfolded woman.
Okay. I'll close my eyes and touch one of the doors.
Which one? So there's 4 doors, 2 on your left and 2 on your right. Are you gonna go
let's
to
go
the
furthest to the left.
okay? The north door on the left or the south door on the left?
Let's go north.
Sure. You touch the door. It is again, it is quite cold down here, so it is cold, like cool metal.
Okay, I don't hear anything though.
And she is blindfolded, and she just that's it.
She's blindfolded. She has 2 swords, and she's holding them across her chest. It's not a huge like statue or frieze. It's maybe like this tall, and it's like sitting on the wall, like over your head. Do you hear anything? You listen at the door and do not hear anything.
Okay, I'll repeat that for the other doors just in case. I want to know if a door literally speaks to me.
Okay. As you do so, the green stained glass knight is laughing at your pitiful attempts, and Chivalric says, many paths to danger, only one is safe. You cannot see what is in front of your face. And as you listen to all the doors, they none of them have any sounds behind them that you can detect.
Cool. That would hurt my feelings if I could understand him.
Tovald, are you translating? That's you, Chris.
You still here? Nah, my network screwed up.
Oh,
okay.
Are you translating as?
Are you translating the Green Knight's various?
Oh yeah.
He
Yeah.
says you cannot see what's in front of your face. I return to where we entered the room and I look straight forward. The only thing in front of me is the frieze, the woman with 2 swords.
Yeah. You don't see anything there.
I have in my hand a dagger. In my left hand. I'm just gonna toss it straight forward in front of me at the wall.
It flies through the wall and disappears.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's something, right?
That looks like something.
Oh, so you're saying that touching paintings does work sometimes?
Well, I haven't touched anything yet, but it seems that there's something in front of our face that we can't see here. I'll move forward, like arms outstretched, like a sleepwalker, and like grope at the wall.
The wall. You don't have a light source yourself.
I myself do not have a light source now.
As you reach out, you step towards the wall. The wall has no texture to you, and you step through it, and into darkness. The Green Knight says, "Bah!" And seems disgruntled that you have found a path forward.
We follow.
Great.
You're soon followed by your companions, who bring the small halo of their candlelight into the room with you, and you are shown. Actually, as their light comes in. Oh, okay. So this is what you see. All right, you come into a chamber. You're now in 202.
Hell yeah.
Can I recover my dagger?
Let me describe the room to you, and I'll show. Thank you for reminding me about it. I'll
There's
show
a
you where it
dead
is.
person in the middle of the room. Dagger.
Randomly killed somebody.
The dungeon lord has been transfixed.
Holy shit.
All right, so you're in a natural cavern. Yeah, the floor is rough, but it is like kind of carved. There is a large, like a huge, bookshelf sized, anatomically correct beating heart suspended in the middle of the room. There's a semi-domed ceiling above it and 4 columns sort of like surrounding the ceiling around it. The heart is beating and dripping black oil into a carven circular pool at its base. There is a dagger lying on the ground in front of the pool. There is a spectral figure lingering near the front of the pool, human-like, and there are 3 closed metallic doors, one immediately to your left, one immediately to your right, and then one across the room, kind of like out of the range of your candlelight, but you can kind of like make it out in the darkness as well. The spectral figure reaches down. He's sort of like a dwarf, heavily armored, and he like touches the water, and then is like falls head over. By water I mean the oil. Falls head over feet and disappears into the blackness.
Oh, sir, sir. He just disappears completely into the surface of the oil.
You do not see him again as you call out.
Does he make like a ripple? Is like does it seem that he's physically interacting with the oil, or are we just like seeing like a Dark Souls like ghost here? Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
I cautiously like half crouched. I get close enough to snatch my dagger back up, and then scuttle back behind Shelsor and Tovald.
Sure. You recover your dagger.
Thank you. I will add it to my sheet.
I know how to solve this one. I climb up the closest column to me.
Yeah, at the top of these columns there are no friendly doves, but you are like, physically closer to the heart. It is beating, and as it beats, drips of blood fall out of it and drip like, and this one, as they drip, they like echo and like spread ripples across the blackened pool.
It is oil coming out of the heart.
I would say it looks like oil, and it smells like oil.
But it's not like it's oil coming out of it's not like blood coming out of the heart and dropping into oil.
It could be blood if your blood was oil.
Yeah, whatever is leaked above is what's in the pool also too. Correct.
Yes, that is what it looks like. It's feeding the pool.
Cool.
Okay.
Great.
Bismuth is looking apprehensively up at Champion Toma. What are you going to do up there?
Checking for keys.
Not
up here.
Maybe we should just try the doors?
So that ghost was gone?
Yeah, the ghost appeared only for a moment and then left your plane of existence.
Sorry. Okay. I stagger over to the pool while pulling a hermetic bottle out of my pack and try to dip it in to collect some of the oil.
Tovald, I'm not going to infringe on your character agency, but Bismuth looks deeply distraught at this. She's like, "Didn't you see what happened to the other dwarf?"
Well, I'm not going to touch it. The bottle will.
I say let him try.
All right, so Topol, you're trying to collect some oil.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna start the challenge phase as Tovald is immediately grappled and pulled into the pool of oil. A long worm, like pale in the darkness,
Not a heartworm.
reaches up out of the pool and like latches onto Tovald, like circles him once, pulls him down. Tovald, you're start in the pool. You're gonna start engaged with the worm. You're gonna be covered in oil. And
I'm also holding a live wire.
You are.
Oh,
boy,
Jesus.
Oh boy.
Woo!
All right, so let's. I'm going to set up a challenge phase. All right, so like in the challenge phase, The whole zone is like one zone. The pool is another zone. You do have to move out of the pool to get back out of the pool. Tovold, being oil slicked means that you are stressed. You cannot dodge. If you move or dash, you are tripped at the end of your movement. And I'd be thoughtful about that lightning bolt. You are flammable. Any questions about the zones or the mechanics before we start challenge phase?
I have one question. Go ahead.
I was going to say, how does height play into things? Because I am currently at the top of a column for zones.
Yeah, I think that like it was probably pretty easy. That you're not very, very far up. You know, I think that a standing person could attack you. So like if you slide down, like you'll kind of just be in the normal zone. If there's some sort of interaction you'd like to do in the column.
And is the heart, how far away is the heart from the columns?
Pretty close. But I think that to interact with it, you'd have to be in the pool zone unless you have a really long weapon like a spear or something.
That doesn't sound pretty close. That sounds moderately distant.
I mean, like it's all relative.
Right.
So like to touch the heart, you'd have to have a long weapon. Otherwise, you'd have to be in the pool.
Cool.
Your daggers are throwable.
Yeah, I know.
Your daggers are throwable.
I mean, anything's throwable if you chunk it hard enough.
I wanted to ask: is there a mechanical way that those of us who are not covered in oil and bewormed can help Tovold? Is that a miscellaneous action? Is that aid another?
Yeah, great question. I think you can play cards for other people. At this point, you need to avoid the worm. So to avoid the worm, you'd have to beat its initiative with a Pentacles card. Okay. And I think it'd be fair deuce to like try and pull your companion out of it, and pull them out of the thing. Let's go ahead and give it a disfavor because you're like reaching down into a pool of oil. But an avoid with disfavor for somebody else.
Okay.
Cool.
Apropos of nothing, what do you reckon the proof of that whiskey is?
I mean, high proof. You are also you are also flammable.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how flammable we can get. It sounds like.
All right. I said I was going to fix this before today's stream, but I'm a liar.
Hey, that's the classic way here at +1. Don't worry about it.
Did I draw good? No. Is that going to be okay? We'll find out. Okay. I like where sometimes if you mouse over a card, it's like
it gets big and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
There's a way to force that to happen, I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember what it is.
Be helpful. I have this on my tiny screen.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, actually, I did draw pretty good. I'm not mad about this.
And just out of curiosity, again, just as a hypothetical, if you have the Fool, what can you do with that again?
The Fool gives you an extra focus action. Essentially, you get a whole extra turn, and you use it by interrupting another character's action with the Fool, and then you play another card to do an action. The Fool itself doesn't do anything other than give you the opportunity to play a card as a focus action.
Cool. Hypothetically,
hypothetically, if both of the people new to the game ended up with the Fool in this 2-shot, that would be pretty funny.
It'd be pretty par for the course, honestly.
For real.
That's how you learn what the Fool is, because it's your first session. You're like, how do I play the game? I mean, so like I said, this does take a couple sessions to like really wrap your head around the especially the strategies. Like sometimes you can get it, and then like I can see it takes maybe a couple more sessions to like get the strategy behind it. So we'll just go like whenever somebody new joins the game, we're just gonna go slow. Anybody that is a player that has some experience, just say out loud what you're doing and maybe like why you're making the choices that you're making.
With Chris stepping away, it might not be bad to just take a 5 right before this.
Okay, great.
Let's
Why don't we
refill water, run to the bathroom.
cool.
sounds good
So
to me.
get back together and
Think about what you're
continue
going
the
to do
challenge.
if you had one.
Yeah.
Not.
220.
So yeah, 220 will be back.
Great. We'll be right back, everyone.
and then be embarrassed in front of.
Hey,
guests?
look, we're live now.
Tobo, what was your question?
What was my question? Oh yeah. If I'm trying to wriggle out of this thing's grasp, what suit might that be?
I think there's an avoid action. You have to beat their initiative.
Interesting.
It is interesting. Nothing's more interesting than the rules.
I'm always saying
You
this.
feel very full of yourself, don't you?
No, just any kind of rules, public municipality ordinances.
Okay.
Okay, does everyone have their initiatives ready to play except for Champion Toma? Tony, you want to play an initiative?
He's like, nah, I'm
Yes.
good.
I would like to play an initiative.
All right.
Do you remember what it is now?
Okay, so just to reset the scene, everybody right now is in the cavern of 102. There are 4 columns around the center of this like well of oil, above which is a beating heart, and in which is a terrible pale worm that has currently grappled and splashing with your companion with the lightning bolt. And we are going to start with him grappled and in the well. So step 1, step 2, step 3.
Oh,
That's
one.
me.
One was me. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Um.
Go ahead and flip your card.
Well. Oh yeah. So you know that I'm not lying. So I'm at the top of a column. The top of these columns do not connect to the ceiling, correct? These are
They do. Yeah, they're contiguous, but the ceiling's not huge. It's maybe 12
fine.
feet up.
I was just trying to figure out if they're a column, if I can stand on top of this column or not stand on top of this column. That's the and the heart is equal with the top of the columns, slightly below the top of the columns.
So it's actually above it. So like above the well, there's a domed ceiling, and it's like reset and recessed. It's not like very far up.
Cool.
But it's not concurrent with the ceiling of the rest of the room.
Oh, I'm gonna move up into the dome.
You can't reach it. You have to like, you'd have to like sit up. You'd have to like crawl on the ceiling itself.
Gotcha. How hard is that if I have climbing?
What's in your hands?
I mean, technically, I have a dagger and a candle.
Okay, so if you use the talent acrobat,
Mhm.
you can climb even on sheer surfaces, but you can't do it with anything in your hands.
Cool. I'm going to drop the candle.
It will plunge the room into darkness.
Sure. I mean, unless it hits that oil slick down below below us.
You guys will all be blinded, will not be able to take actions if you guys don't have a light source.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, including yourself, right? So
yeah. I guess so. Yeah, that includes me. Well, maybe not. Hold on. Let me.
You have the only light source. So if you drop your candle, that will be the decision point, right?
Actually, can I bang an iron spike in right here? Actually.
Yeah. Why don't you? Do you have it? Where is it?
It is in my pack, so that's what I'm going to spend my turn doing, is getting an iron spike out.
Right, and so you'll have to spend the turn to get the spike out. You'll have to swap it with something in your hand, and then as another turn, probably as a cups action, you'll have to bang it into the top of the column.
I don't love that. Hold on, let me. I don't want to drop a candle because I don't want all y'all losers to be in darkness.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw a dagger.
Okay. It's an attack action. What's your
Do
turn?
what?
It's an attack action. It's your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a dagger.
Sure. Are you trying to hit the heart?
I'm trying to hit the worm.
Okay. Sure. What is your total?
My total is going to be. Let me look at all my options here. Yeah, I think my total is going to be. I don't think that it's going to be 9.
Cool. 9 hits. Their initiative is 8. Your dagger. Let me get my notepad back out so I can track wounds. Your dagger stabs into the worm. Like as it like struggles with Tovold, and tosses, like sometimes disappearing below the surface and sometimes surfacing. It slices past it. Your dagger disappears into the pool, and like a nick comes out through like the weirdly veiny worm. Minor actions on step 1.
Dodging is a minor action, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Pentacles action.
Great. I will do that.
I'm going to take an attack action against my enraptured. What's the word I'm looking for here? Against Tovold. I am going to attack him and try and drink his blood.
I'm
I'm
going
going
to attack also.
to try to avoid that.
What are you going to do to try and avoid it?
Being a greased up dwarf at the moment, I'm gonna try to make myself as thin and small as possible and slip through your coils.
So you're going to try and like use the avoid action to try and get out.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay, so like the gimmick there is that like that you very might they're going to resolve simultaneously. So I'm going to get an attack against you. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and play a 17 to attack you. What is your avoid?
14.
Yeah, 14. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you pull away and get out of the pool. You are no longer entangled with this worm. It did like as you like pulled away, like its leech-like mouth is like on your neck, and like you're just like you see like a chunk of your skin come across. So take a wound from the beast as it bites you.
Haken.
All right, that was I think everyone basically. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I would like to. I'd like to attack it too.
Okay. With your thrown dagger.
I think probably. Yeah, that makes sense.
I was going to say like you're not close enough to engage with it unless you have a long weapon.
Yeah, I'll throw my dagger. I'm going to spend a resolve to get favor on this.
Okay.
And I'm going to play 7. So I've got a 10 to attack.
Cool. Taken. All right. The worm has been nicked twice by thrown daggers. It is like now out of the pool, and like it's obviously like you don't see any like sensory appendages. It's just like a blind mouth turning this way and that, like darting out to try and grab at you. That was step 1. Step 2. Step 3.
That's me.
Cool.
I would like to. I'm going to retrieve a torch from my bag. Put it in my hand.
All right. Minor actions on step 3.
I will stab the worm because I do have a longer weapon. I have a spear.
Dope.
And I have a Queen of Swords.
That'll do it.
13, I believe.
Perfect. It like screams this like really high pitched like as it is stabbed.
Sick.
Any other minor actions on 3?
I'm gonna pull a shield off my belt.
It is going to dodge. It doesn't like to get attacked. Nobody saw it.
I'm gonna pull a iron spike out of my pack.
All right. Okay. That was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, 7. Yeah. Hurt and kind of annoyed by my foolishness, letting my guard down. I set up a dodge.
Okay. Minor actions on 7.
Let's say you had the Fool in your hand, just hypothetically.
Is it your last card?
It is my last card. Does that make it fairly worthless?
Yeah. It lets you interrupt if you have another card to play with it, but if you used another card to get something out of your pack, the Fool can't be played by itself.
It can't be played by itself. Okay.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah, it is. It not only is like learning the game like a little bit, but like learning how to use the Fool optimally is another.
Yeah.
Like, kind of a, yeah.
I had a really interesting hand
Weird.
for my character also too, so I'm not.
Understood. Minor actions on step 7. Step 8
That's
is
me.
too. What would you like to do? I think he's gonna like. I think for my action, like if you like while you're like making your choice, like he like lunges out of the pool and like darts towards one of you. So what would you like to do?
Oh, cool. That's perfect because I was gonna cast Gust of Wind again.
Okay, where are you gonna try and send it?
Just towards the back wall. I just want to get some distance from it.
Like the way that you came in.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, throw it at that shithead knight.
Yeah. I want to back to the gate, you know?
I am going to say because this creature is longer and bigger than a human, it will take 2 resolve to be able to get enough wind to move it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll spend the 2 resolve on that.
All right. As it comes out, it is going to dart at Bismuth, and bite at you, because I think I can hit you.
I don't think so.
With a 7.
Yeah.
And then like the Chalsor's spell like picks it up and like pulls it away from you, and like sends it flying like almost like arrow like or spear, like a thrown spear, like through the darkness and through the illusory wall. You no longer can see it, and I think I'm actually gonna pause the challenge phase because I don't think it's gonna like try and like come back in immediately. So it is going to effectively end the challenge phase for now.
Sick.
I have a question. I have a rules question.
Yes, sir.
So I took a staggered on that last one. Does Champion Toma get to charge his bond?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think that is a condition.
That qualifies as a wound. Okay.
Yeah. Like, essentially, when I say you take a wound, that is
It's any of those, yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, so we saw the Fool. So I'm going to go ahead and recall the cards. If anybody has anything in their hand, go ahead.
I didn't play the Fool. You don't know. I could have been bluffing the whole time. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
I mean, it just keeps the deck fresh and our ring kind of fresh.
I'm gonna put
It
this
gets
card
rid of
down,
my
face
dodge.
down, and,
True. But like you won't need it right now. If like
Yeah.
I'm not saying the worm is defeated, but like there's no reason to stay.
Do
in
we hear
combat
those
order.
sounds of combat as the spectral knight? As the
Actually, yes. Like you hear like it like saying like disgusting, and like they're engaged right now. Yeah.
if we accomplished nothing else in this adventure, that was worth it.
yeah,
Mhm.
that was worth the 2 resolve.
I'm proud of the work we've done here today.
So right now, in the light of Champion Toma's candle, there's splatters of oil everywhere. In fact, one of your companions is drenched in oil. He looks very sad, or somewhat pathetic. I'm not going to say like what your emotional state is, but like I mean, it
No,
evokes
no,
pathos.
You got it.
There's the still beating heart. And you do hear like the sounds of like a disgusted night, like kind of somewhat distantly through the opaqueness of the illusory wall. There are 3 closed doors here as well. How would you like to proceed?
I try wiping the oil off me. Scrape some into the bottle.
Okay, you definitely got. You
bottle's
definitely
full.
have a full bottle now, Tovold. You're not clean by any stretch of the imagination, but you like get it out of your eyes. I still think you can move like more confidently now, so that you're not like you don't have the penalties that I described earlier. But I still think you're probably more vulnerable to fire than you would like.
I have in my pack an extra set of common clothes, which I would like to offer to help Tovold
That would help.
change into, and we can sort of trim them as necessary, perhaps for shorter limbs. But maybe that'll help that whole situation.
Sure. Are you willing to just take a watch to kind of do that and like bind them up in a way that a dwarf can wear them comfortably?
That seems worthwhile to me.
And people like when you wonder why those are listed on the equipment list, it's like for stuff like this, like your stuff gets destroyed, and like also like sometimes you're gonna see somebody that you want to impress, and like you've been adventuring, and having a set of common clothes really helps make a better first impression. So here's a
Josh,
question.
you don't have to defend your choices as a designer or as a GM. We're having a good time.
I like to talk through it just like a little bit, because I think it helps people, like new players, understand some of the design choices. I am going to ask, as you're like offering the clothes, Bismuth, as a younger woman, and Tovold is an older dwarf man, like what like is there a sense of propriety that you're going to keep at this like story beat, or like how do you react?
No, I don't think Bismuth is very concerned about that. Like, I think that she's very. I think that she is more. She self-identifies as a knight more than she worries about what improprieties there might be, and she's her elder and her mentor is in discomfort. Her honor demands that she offer them aid. I think that's her priority.
Cool. I'm sorry. I feel like I interrupted somebody earlier, so please let me ask the question. What were you guys doing again? Did somebody have a question?
Oh, just while this is going on, I do just want to use Scry real fast, because I haven't had an excuse to use it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see how that fight's going in the other
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The worm and the knight, like the worm is coiled around the knight, and the knight is like trapped in the worm, and is like obviously like shuddering and like muttering curses. It is disgusted by this event, but they're like the worm is like constricting, and the like trying like to suck on the knight, and like whatever the knight isn't giving the worm any sustenance, and they're both miserable with each other.
Yeah. I'm just over here laughing while they're having a touching moment and changing.
I like that you're pondering your orb, like, you know.
Yeah, I've pulled an orb out and just, interesting.
The daggers that were thrown, did they fall off the?
They are in the. You can only imagine they are in the pool.
That sounds great.
I don't think we should go in there and get those.
No, I think that's fine. I pull out a dagger.
I desperately want to catch this on fire. I don't think it's a good idea.
I don't see a reason not to, really, as long as
Look, we're same.
Why don't we
brain.
go through a door first?
As
then
you
throw a
are
fire
discussing this, Tova, how's your clothes looking?
The new one or the old ones are covered in oil.
Uh-oh.
Obviously.
Rip. We're about to lose him.
Dang.
There he goes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
he just
lost
has
him.
some connection issues. He'll be back. There he is. What were you saying about your clothes?
I was halfway through an amazing description before I realized everybody had frozen. would have loved it. I can't repeat it. The old clothes are obviously soaked in oil, and from that I rip off a rag and stuff it into the head of the bottle of oil for possible throw-in later.
Yeah.
Cool.
The new clothes are. She's a bit taller than me, so they don't quite fit. I've had to roll up the trousers and both the arm and leg sleeves.
We've also had to explain to not put your trousers on as a top. That's not how that works.
Have you not seen the TikToks about that? You just cut a little hole in the crotch.
As
I have seen
your
this.
as like Tovald like kind of comes out from behind the column and like looks like this. You all see the door to the west open, and several characters move through it. There are a whole patrol of animate bronze statues, are like articulate, like full of gears. They have faces somewhat reminiscent of like Greek theatrical masks, like each like shaped kind of like different people, but like very like big faces and like empty eye sockets, nothing behind them. There are 4 of these golems that are wearing the livery with a sword on it, and they're carrying bronze swords. There is one with a tall metered cap, which is what like a bishop wears, and they're carrying a halberd. And then there's one that looks like a moving, kind of like a moving piece of rampart, covered in stone with these like crenellations on its shoulders, reminiscent of the top of the castle wall. And as they come in in Vulgaris, they say like, "What's all this then? Surrender immediately." This is a pretty large force. How do you all react?
So you've got Bishop, Rook, and the other
3 pawns.
two. The other 2, 3. Okay.
Okay, well, they're pawns. They're slower.
Bismuth looked to Shalsor on this one, I think. She's scared.
Don't look to me on this one. I don't know what to do here. I think I look, in fact, to Tuvald.
Tovald is holding the bottle of oil in one hand, looking at them, looking at the bottle.
Do it.
You said there was 5?
There are 5.
Yeah. Surrender, I call back. Under whose authority?
The King of Swords, they say.
That's a pretty good authority.
What's the charge?
You are in his kingdom. Come and meet his justice. They're lowering their weapons and surrounding you, kind of like in a half semicircle.
I love that for them.
Oh no.
Maybe we should go talk to the King of Swords. Maybe he might know where the sword we're looking for is.
You know what? I'm going to use this opportunity to sneak.
Fair enough. Cool.
It's a good time for it.
Good time for it. You slip around one of the corners of the columns and disappear. The other 3 of you, what will you do?
I think
Don't forget he's an XP if that's not mastered.
Forest checkered.
Bismuth is going to sheath her sword and say, we didn't know we were in a sovereign realm. Please take us before your king.
Okay. I think we can wrap today's session by saying that you are taken as prisoners to a great Colosseum. The Colosseum is peopled in the stands entirely by skeletons. They're not animate or anything. They're not like watching the skeleton games. They're just like corpses, just like slumps in their seats. Broken and ruined, like rust covered swords are like I mean, there has to be 1,000 stuck into the ground of the Colosseum, and there's a central column in the middle of it, on the top of which is a throne of bones, and there is another one of these golems. This one with a kingly mask. His sword, his crown is made of swords, like bent and broken, and hovering above his head is obviously like a magical, like shining blade that's like just revolving in on itself. You have come before the judgment of the King of Swords, and we'll have to play again to see what he says about our companions.
Next Worm Day weekend.
So tune in next year. We'll be right back here. That was great.
That was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. That was a blast.
No problem. Do we want to do, Keegan, you're hosting technically right now. Do we want to do Stars and Wishes real quick? Or do we want to do
I'm hosting, you're hosting. I'm just running text.
I mean, I'm from a patter standpoint, but you guys got the whatever's up. I got familiar with Stars and Wishes. We like a Stars and Wishes here. Things that we saw from other people that we really enjoyed, moments of play from the last couple days, or things we wish would happen if we continued playing, or that we hope happens next year when we continue. Anybody have any?
I do wish we had caught that heart on fire.
I absolutely have one. That moment, Keegan, where you thought to use wood shaping to create a sword key instead of breaking our sword. Like, to me, that is a distilled moment of what makes this game special and unique. The tools provided for that kind of orthogonal thinking are plenty, and like that's exactly the shit that I like to see playing this game. It's the stuff that makes this game fun and exciting, and like the fact that losing one item is kind of important in this game, and finding ways around losing that one item feels like a big win. I like that a lot. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, especially with how important that silver sword had just been. Through the scene before. It's like, we cannot lose this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was really cool. I also liked when Keegan, you threw the worm away and like it met like another like NPC, and like it like kind of tied up like the moment. And like, if we played again, I'd probably like not say they were like dead, but like, for the next beat, like the interaction in the dungeon that I didn't plan, those like the interaction between like the things that I know are in the dungeon and things that move around the dungeon based on the random encounter tables is really interesting to me, because it keeps it fresh. It's not like a pre-planned story. And like when those elements combine, I think it's really exciting. So that's interesting to me as a GM, because I never know what's going to happen. That was cool.
I want to start, like I said this beforehand, and I still don't know exactly how you took it, but I said something about like I love the subtlety of His Majesty the Worm, and you were like, unpack that. Like, one of the things I love, there is actually a lot of great complexity and system mastery that exists in how the different tools come together that creates a lot of subtlety, but nothing about His Majesty the Worm's lore or design in the way that you run it specifically leaves players wondering what the stakes are or what they should be doing, which I think is super important and not enough games do well. Even to the point where you were like describing the monsters at the beginning, and Keegan in chat was like, "Oh, that bishop that means that one can only move diagonally," and then you started describing the rook character right after that, and we were like, "Oh shit, no, really!" Like that type of on the nose fantasy is really good. and you do it without it ever feeling vanilla. Like it's very clear. It's very like the writing style is just deeply evocative. It gives players immediate hooks to know what they're doing. And watching you run it, like the same type of thing, right? Like even for all the things that come up whenever you're running a dungeon fantasy game, especially on a stream, like you are very good at being like, here are the things you can interact with, do in this space. It's all laid out very well. And you do a good job to do that, to the point where like I immediately, as soon as we popped in and you were like, there's doves, I was like, those fucking doves took the key. And like I mean, it could have jumped right there, but it was also like, yeah, like, do I want to? I'll just fuck around with them and see what happens. But like coming back and being able to then do that later on was super satisfying. And some of that just comes from like just writing in GM style. Like it's really satisfying in play, and it's super fun to have gotten to like experience. Izzy, I loved like you just running through like Bismuth's like gentle nature wall, like, and also like I identify more as a knight. Like what a great fucking like statement. And then Chris, like just the willingness to like walk up to that pool today and like get in there and do it. It was super good and really pushed forward into something that was like obviously a danger, but Keegan, like Gust Use was super good. Like I like what people said about the sword. That was super fun moment in play. But I also did love the combined action of all of us just continually pushing that one ghoul out the door yesterday. Funny. Every time Josh tried to bring them back in was super fun at the table. Yeah, I wish we got that sword. Maybe one day in the future we will.
Maybe one day.
This was a lot of fun. I'd be happy to revisit this at any time. Just call me.
Yeah.
Next Labor Day weekend.
Next Worm weekend.
So cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, it's been a great time playing with you. Keegan, do we have anything cool coming up that you want to announce?
I mean, in 10 days we'll be back for Blister Kingdom, which will be fun. That's the only thing I know about though.
9/11. That's cool. We actually have our finale episode of the Between our 15 or 16 part actual play series we do it in partnership with a Gauntlet. The final episode is this Thursday. The penultimate episode was absolutely buck wild. Really fun. Jason doing some great stuff. If you aren't following it, go to ttrpg.link /betweengame. Their crowdfunding project on backer kits coming up. But one of the great things about it is Jason's has kind of revisioned the approach to some of the CFB stuff that's going to be in future games, specifically the Between, though, also too. And we've been getting to play test a lot of the new approach live, and that's been really great. But it was really fun on Thursday when we had somebody show up who was like, and who was in the chat just now, Warden, who was like, I came because B told me to. This is amazing. This is a blast. I've also been really into this game called His Majesty the Worm recently, and I was like, oh, come back this weekend and watch us. We're playing that also too. So, but join us for that if you haven't had a chance yet. All the past videos are on the thing, but really, like, it's a very narrative game, so like it's easy to jump in at any point. You're just basically going to see the series finale of our TV show that we've been doing. So that's the other thing coming up. But we don't have a good way to end this stream.